You are listening to the FTWpodcast.com, where we talk about wrestling in all of its laughable glory. Here's a clip from this week's episode.
Question from you guys. Just wanted to let us know. You can ask us questions by emailing questions at FTWpodcast.com or send us a tweet at FTWpodcast. And on our Facebook wall, Facebook.com/FTWpodcast. At Picadillo on Twitter asked, talk about the WWE booking inconsistencies. You can either win a 30-man Royal Rumble or a 10-man Battle Royale to get a title shot at WrestleMania. I want to talk about this for a second because I think the only reason the Royal Rumble gets you a title shot at WrestleMania is that's because it's always been that way. And you can't do another Royal Rumble for another title. So they got two basically somewhat equal titles. The 10-man Battle Royale on Raw to get a title shot at WrestleMania. I think that's... I don't know. I think, yeah, it doesn't have parity exactly, but I don't know. I think it's just the Royal Rumble's always been around, so it's always going to be around that way. But with two titles, you got to do something, right?
Yeah, and the thing, Harrison, to add here is that historically, I read this. I didn't do the research, so maybe I should do that while we continue on the show. But historically, it's always been the second guy, the second to last guy in the Royal Rumble always gets a title shot as well.
The runner-up, you mean?
Yeah, the runner-up. So. Just throwing it out there that's just how booking is. Once they had the two titles, the runner-up always got a title shot as well. But let me do that research before.
No, that's fine. So I think the 10-man Battle Royale on Raw was just an excuse to get Jericho up against CM Punk. It was really all it was. And I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anything that would really have the staying power of the Royal Rumble that you could really use to build up WrestleMania, unless you bring back the idea that Elimination Chamber gets you the other title shot. So you win the Royal Rumble, you get one title shot, and then Elimination Chamber gets the other one. So, I mean, they could do that. I mean, Elimination Chamber's been around for a couple of years, so they got something there, and it's its own pay-per-view, so...
Well, they did that in the past. Where I think one, if not two of the chambers at one point were for WWE and World Heavyweight Championship shots. I could be wrong. I know they've done it at least once, where the winner...
They did it once. I want to say it was a year or two ago.
Yeah, probably.
I thought that was effective. I thought that was great because at least the chamber, it's not like a regular multiple-man match where it's like, hey, you throw over the guy. It's a brutal, barbaric, cage-like match. At least that gives a little bit more credibility than a random 10-man Royal Rumble or Battle Royal, whatever the hell you want to call it. Plus, to be fair, I know that the 10-man Battle Royal thing was literally thrown together at the last minute.
Yep.
Plus, you're kind of right, though. How other way are you going to get Jericho over? Because if Jericho couldn't beat Punk in the chamber, you got to think of some valid way to get him as the number one contender. And so it's just kind of like, I guess, make the best of a bad situation.
Well, it's a bad situation. They painted themselves into a corner. I think that's the problem. So,
I agree.
Looking at the last 5 years, there's only been one time that the runner-up didn't get a title shot at WrestleMania, and that was last year because Santino was the runner-up. So,
but this time Jericho, he didn't get it either. But he eventually got it, but only because of the 10-man Battle Royale. It wasn't like announced at the Rumble.
Well, but that's that's not really in the consideration because of how things are booked. I mean, you could say the same thing about the other 4 times that it happened, over the last 5 years. So, but 2008 it was Triple H was the runner-up. He went on to WrestleMania to face Cena and Orton. 2009 was Triple H. He went on to face Orton. Cena was the runner-up in 2010 to face Batista. So, historically, that was an accurate statement.
All right. So maybe it's like the also ran. We're gonna get you a title shot, even though you're not gonna get the Royal Rumble win. Although all 3 of those guys already had Rumble wins.
Well, you've heard our thoughts, but now we want to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and even join us live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. at the FTWpodcast.com.